Greetings, everyone. Thank you very much for being here for the grand opening of the Minna Lee. This is 50 new units of permanent supportive housing of the 1,300 units that we have in our pipeline. I want to thank the mayor for her leadership in ensuring that we have a robust housing pipeline, permanent supportive housing pipeline for people experiencing homelessness. As I said, we've got 1,300 more units that will be opening in the coming years. And before we officially get started and hear from the mayor, I just want to say a few thank yous. First of all, I want to thank Pete and Karan Patel, the owners of the building, who worked with us so hard to master lease the site. Thank folks from the Department of Real Estate for their work in making the lease happen. Thank you all very much. If you could wave. And of course, the staff from the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing. Want to thank Nina and her staff for making this building happen, and all the other staff, and Grace and Margot for helping the tenants rent up. And by the way, this is a 50-unit building, and even though today's our grand opening, we already have 48 residents living here. We'll be fully rented up next week. And I just want to also just special shout out to Nina, because many people tried to make this happen and Nina got it done. I wanted to rename the building the Minna Lee, but she gets very mad when I say that, and I just wanted to see her make that face. And of course, our nonprofit partners, DISH and ECS, for operating the building. And most of all, our new residents, the new members of our community who are living in this building, who will be part of this community and part of this neighborhood, and will help make both the building and the neighborhood a better place to live. Thank you all to the residents who are here today. Let's hear it for the residents again. Okay, and without further ado, it is my great honor to introduce Mayor London Breed. Thank you.
Wow. 50 new affordable housing units in San Francisco. This is going to mean a lot for 50 residents, people who sadly have been struggling with homelessness right here on our streets in this city. And we know that although this is amazing for the 48 people who have already moved into Minna Lee, we know that there is still more work to do for so many more people who need housing. Today is a celebration. It's an opportunity to just shine a light on the fact that it takes a village. It takes a village to create an opportunity like this, to make sure that we not only renovated this building, that we find the funding to do so, but more importantly, that we make this place a home for the people who are moving in, and making sure that they have the support in many of your programs to be successful. Alex is here today, and I know you're going to be hearing from him, one of the new residents of this complex. Alex had a lot of challenges. He will tell us a little bit about what those challenges were. Sadly, living on our streets, feeling hopeless, feeling like no one cared. And here he is, one of the residents at Minna Lee, who's going to come before us and tell us his story. Let's give Alex a hand. Many of you know that my top priority as mayor is addressing this homeless crisis. I grew up in this city, I grew up in public housing, and the conditions of where I lived were not very comfortable. The busted pipes, the violence, the challenges in the neighborhood, the feeling that nobody cared was just normal life for me. But I had a roof over my head. I had a grandmother who raised me and who cared about me. I had her support, and it meant everything for my success. And that's what housing has to be about. Not just providing a place for people to stay and to be housed, but opening the door to opportunity so that not only can they get the housing that they need, but they can be successful and hold on to that housing, one person at a time. Making sure that we make the right kinds of investments in places like Minna Lee for the purposes of supporting our community who needs it the most. This is a new way of doing housing here in San Francisco. We've actually, in our inventory, have over 7,500 units of supportive housing, and we have 1,300 units in the pipeline. That is to, again, help people get housed and keep them housed and make sure they have the services they need to be successful. I also want to take this opportunity because, as I said, it does take a village to make sure that this happens. And a fierce champion with a homeless outreach team and who deals with probably several text messages from me a day asking for help from people that I know need help, Jeff Kaczynski and the Department of Homelessness. You know what I love about Jeff is every time I text him about somebody I want him to help, he actually, in most cases, he knows their names, he knows their stories, he knows what's going on with the situation and why something is so difficult. And that's exactly what we need to address each of these very unique situations that some people are struggling with. So I'm really grateful for his service and the work that he's done. I also, of course, want to thank the Department of Real Estate. I want to thank the Department of Building Inspection for moving faster than they typically do to get this project done, the Department of Public Works, the City Attorney's Office, and everyone, the nonprofit partners who have assisted, the Episcopal Community Services, which is operating this facility and delivering innovative, supportive housing, which is managing the property. Thank you to DISH and others who are going to be a part of making sure that this property is successful and the residents who live here. So thank you all so much. And we know that the solutions to addressing our crises is making sure that we build more housing, we provide opportunity, we provide the support, and we work together to deliver projects sooner rather than later, like Minna Lee. Congratulations on this major accomplishment, and thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Now it's my honor to bring up Beth Stokes, the Executive Director of Episcopal Community Services.
Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Mayor Breed, for your leadership and continued focus on solutions to ending chronic homelessness, such as the Minna Lee. I want to echo something that the mayor just said, that this today is a celebration. It really is a celebration of many folks coming together, and I'm going to be brief and just thank a few folks. So the Minna Lee, again, to just kind of reiterate, it's a celebration of 50 more solutions in our collective effort toward ending chronic homelessness in San Francisco. And that is something to celebrate for sure. I'd like to thank our partners, HSH, and to echo everything that the mayor and Jeff said about a team coming together, a true partnership, and that was HSH and DISH. Specifically, again, I would like to thank Jeff for his leadership and his drive to really kind of open every door and really tackle every issue, like, you know, kicking down the door to make things happen. It takes courage, and I really want to thank you, Jeff, for your continued courage in our efforts together. Thank you. I want to thank Carrie Abbott. I know she was new onto the scene, but I want to thank her for her leadership. I want to thank Margot Antonetti, who has always kind of been there with us in the supportive housing realm and has guided us and has been a true partner. And of course, there's the DISH team. I really want to thank you guys. Special thank you to Lauren and to Doug in their leadership of DISH, who never lost sight of what the Minna Lee could be. Right? You guys always hung on to this building and always saw what you guys see before you today. And there's, I just want to say, an incredible amount of effort was taken on by DISH over the years to have the vision to see what you see today, which is 50 new homes. And that's incredible. I'd also like to thank ECS staff, and that's Kathy Chajari, Scott Ecker, Travis Hamilton, and a deep appreciation to Anna Cooper. Anna, raise your hands. Anna has been instrumental in launching ECS services both at this site and right down the street at the Auburn, which was opened, I believe it was January or February. With that, enough about ECS and us. I want to introduce you to Alex Benayos, who now calls the Minna Lee home. Welcome, Alex.
Grateful for all of the support from ECS, case manager of all staff. I live in the street for a long time, and I'm in the Minna Lee is a nice refuge from the street. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, for sharing. And Alex and I met when he was staying in an encampment out on the streets and ended up in a NAV center and now is living here, which is exactly the way the system is supposed to work. So let's close it out with, the people who do the work on the front lines work really hard. They're amazing people. They're angels that walk among us, and we are really blessed and honored today to have Denise Riggins, who's the general manager of this building and who will share a few words with us. Denise.
Oh, stop. All right, so God, this feels like just a beautiful day, and I just can't wait till now build community and bringing our tenants home, safety, caring, and love, especially during these times. And so I'm just truly humbled by that and that I get to be a part of that. So I'd like to thank you, Mayor Breed, for being here with us, and Supervisor Kim, and also HSH for the opportunity and support for this amazing project. We're still working on the finishing touches because really what our first priority was to make sure that we provided people a home. We want to thank our ECS coordinated entry team and ECS as well and support services team for the fabulous coordination and partnership. And shout out to the whole DISH team. You guys are remarkable, and I am so proud to be a part and work alongside of you. And we also like to thank our DISH Advisory Board and Tides for keeping us on track. And so this project demonstrated our collective capacity to end chronic homelessness. And in partnership with ECS and HSH, we have paved the pathway home by removing barriers to housing. Our tenants moved in the day they came in for their intake appointments. And basically avoided the traditional hurdles that can keep many of our tenants who are vulnerable in San Franciscans on the street. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you.